Prologue. Zero frequency. The night in Caelion was more than mere darkness. It was a deep, velvet-black indigo that settled around the jagged stone facades like heavy mist. The cool scent of limestone lingered in the air, mingling with the exotic sharpness of distant cinnamon. Above the passing crowds floated amber crystals, their warm light casting dancing shadows across the marble streets. At 19, Mia looked like a glaring disruption in the middle of it all. High-waisted, wide-leg joggers in a luxury streetwear style, a fitted crop top, expensive sneakers whose soles still carried the dust of Berlin. In her hand, she held a sleek black smartphone. But the screen offered nothing useful. No signal. No service. No service? Seriously? She snapped. Her sharp voice shattered the silence of the alley. She stared at the display as if sheer frustration might force a signal bar into existence. Nothing. A shadow broke away from the darkness. Before Mia could react, something slammed into her shoulder. Her phone slipped from her fingers, struck the hard stone pavement, and shattered into a glittering web of cracks. Mia froze. The most expensive thing she had ever owned. 45 euros for tempered glass. Completely pointless. Well, that's just perfect, she thought, heat rushing through her veins. Hey! Are you out of your mind? Anger swept every trace of fear aside. She snatched the broken phone from the ground and ran after the stranger. At the end of the narrow passage, Mia stumbled upon a scene of raw violence. A masked young man stood trapped between two enormous thugs. Heavy rings gleamed on their fingers in the pale light. "Give us the watch," one of them growled, his voice like breaking stone. The masked man answered quietly, but without yielding. "It was a gift from my father." Mia did not hesitate. Adrenaline surged through her veins. Years of relentless kickboxing training in a cramped basement gym in Berlin were finally about to pay off. "Hey, let him go!" Her voice cut through the night. The two attackers spun around. All they saw was a girl in sneakers and joggers. A fatal mistake. The first brute swung at her. Mia ducked beneath his arm, slipped inside his guard, and drove her elbow hard into his jaw. He staggered backward with a groan. Before the second man could react, Mia raised her knee and delivered a precise kick to his kneecap. A sickening crack split the air. Seconds later, both men lay gasping on the pavement. The masked stranger breathed heavily as he pulled the fabric away from his face. Beneath it was a striking, sharply defined face. Wild, dark strands fell across his forehead, and his eyes gleamed like liquid gold. For a moment, Mia forgot to breathe. "You have my gratitude," the stranger murmured. His deep voice seemed to vibrate inside her chest. He inclined his head with perfect, elegant restraint, though a cold vigilance remained in his gaze. Mia quickly recovered and held the shattered phone directly in front of his face. "Good for you. Do you have any idea how much this thing costs? It's ruined because of you." He reached for it cautiously, as though she had handed him a dangerous relic. "A magical artifact. Your words are unfamiliar to me, but I am in your debt." He straightened. "I am Valerius Zephyrus of House Caesarius, firstborn of the High Council. And who are you, stranger, to strike down the scum of this city with your bare hands?" Mia tilted her head. She considered the weight of his enormous title and had absolutely no intention of being intimidated by it. "Mia Sophie," she replied flatly. "But honestly, I've already forgotten the rest of your name. Can't I just call you Valerius? For one heartbeat, Valerius stopped breathing. The corner of his mouth twitched almost imperceptibly as he struggled to swallow his wounded pride. If that is your desire, Mia. To repay his debt, Valerius led her to a nearby tavern. Warm amber lights shimmered across its dark wooden beams. Mia sat on a tall stool, with her sneakers resting casually against a copper rail. In front of her stood a glass filled with a sweet drink that tasted like honey but burned like pure vodka. Valerius sat across from her, watching attentively as she complained about Siri. "You speak to that object as though it possesses a living soul," he observed. "It is my whole life," Mia shot back before emptying her glass. "Photos, music, friends, everything is gone. Seriously, what kind of movie set did I walk into? Hidden cameras? Some kind of cult?" Valerius tilted his head, visibly confused by her words. "You are in Caelion. This is the 504th year since the founding." Mia stared at him. The year 504? What kind of nonsense was that? A sharp stab of uncertainty pierced her confidence. Where the hell was Berlin? And why could she understand this man so easily? She pushed the feeling aside with a grin. Then, she noticed his eyes resting on her. His attention felt almost physical. When she looked up, their gazes met, and he immediately looked away. Not like a man who had been caught staring, but like someone whose iron control had been shaken by a single glance. Mia leaned farther across the wooden counter and studied him openly, provocatively. No woman in Caelion would ever have dared to stare at him so shamelessly. At last, Valerius raised his head and forced himself to meet her gaze. His eyes were absurdly beautiful. Clear, luminous gold. "Wow," Mia murmured. "Those look insanely real. Damn, where did you get those contacts? That color is incredible." Valerius went rigid. A faint blush touched his cheeks. "I do not understand your words." Mia laughed softly and shook her head. Then, acting on impulse, she reached for one eye. Out of pure habit, she removed the first dark brown contact lens, followed by the second. Valerius stopped breathing. Mia's true eyes were finally revealed. A startling, luminous shade of clear sky blue. A color that simply did not exist in the biology of Caelion. Valerius's golden eyes widened in naked shock. He slowly leaned closer, fixing her with a stare that charged the air between them. In that moment, he understood that this girl was more dangerous to his world than any attacker could ever be. "Your eyes," he whispered, his usually steady voice failing him. "That is impossible. What are you?" Mia smiled slowly and leaned closer as well. "No signal, no service, but apparently I still know how to make an impression." Her grin turned challenging. "Tell me, Gold Eyes, do you have a girlfriend?" Valerius forced himself to hold her gaze, even as his heart raced. "No." "Good," Mia said with satisfaction. But as she swallowed the final sip from her glass, she had no idea that something had already awakened in the dark alleys of Caelion. Something that hunted eyes the color of an open sky.